No, just kidding. Ooh. We good? We live? Hey, what's up,
Go.
guys? We're going. It's gonna happen. Screw you, Brian. It's not fail. It's awesome. It's gonna happen. So we're sitting here. We got Golden Boy, also known Golden Boy for the win. He's kind of the man when it comes to Modern Warfare 3 and all things awesome in general. We want to thank you for coming out today. I almost said Corey Dunn. He's not here, by the way. But
He's
thanks for coming out,
commentating.
Alex. Yeah,
Thank you
he's
guys for having me.
yeah.
Thank you
So
very much. By the way, I just want to say something real quick. BossFightTV, one of my favorite websites. Love that site. So you guys doing a good job there.
thank you, appreciate it.
All right.
So we do want to say before we get started, there's a couple things we want to talk about before we get started. One, if you guys have any question whatsoever, don't hesitate to ask in stream. Don't hesitate to tweet at us. We'll be watching all that stuff. I also want to give a big shout out. This show is sponsored by Man Packs. If you guys never heard of them before, they are a website. They have all sorts of crazy, awesome packs that you guys can order online. Basically, it takes you out of having to go out and buy all those like essential things like socks, boxers, T-shirts, razors, all sorts of stuff like that. Manpacks.com right there in the chat. And basically, the cool thing is we sat down and we talked to him for a while. And it might actually be a really cool thing to do when you guys go to events and things like that. So please check them out. And here's the awesome part about this episode: we are going to be giving away 3 man packs during this show to the people who are watching live, and we will kind of pick some people out that are talking in stream and everything to give away some man packs, completely customized to their liking. So hope you guys like all that stuff. Sorry, now we're done plugging ourselves. Now it's time to get down and dirty, down to business. So Mike, do you want to go ahead? I know you had some questions you wanted to roll out with.
Well, I mean, I first off specifically wanted to again thank you for coming on, because you actually just got done with the CSN Modern Warfare 3 March Madness event, which I mean, in your summation, how did that go? I mean, from a caster's aspect, we get to see you, watch the games and hear your thoughts, but overall, as far as the event's organization and effort by the community, how did you think it went overall?
I won't lie. Day one was really bumpy. I even think the guys at CSN will agree with that. It was just tough. We had 100 teams register for the tournament, and everyone wanted to get everything done like right then and there that day. But then they had replanned it, and then it was like, okay, we're gonna stretch it out to a 2-day event. So day one was real bumpy. Lots of I wouldn't think there was no shows, thank God, because everyone checks in prior. So we did have 100 teams confirmed, and that's my wife making cookies over there. So ignore the beeping sound. I'm sorry about that.
So jelly.
I know, she's making chocolate chip cookies, and we just made pizza right after I was done with the stream. So I am feeling nice and full.
Was it one of those Giorgio boxes that has
No,
everything?
no, we make it ourselves. We make everything ourselves.
Legit.
So, yeah, it was
Homemade.
all like peppers and ham, zucchini, and mushrooms, cheese sauce, all that stuff. Yeah, we're big veggie freaks. So in any case, went well. Day one I was using XSplit to stream, and that was just a nightmare. I will never use XSplit to stream a tournament ever again. Not because XSplit's a bad program, but because XSplit just does not work well with what I want to do, what I like to do, what I feel comfortable doing. So day two I ended up using Wirecast, went 10 times better. And the other thing that we had on day one that was a big issue was finding teams to stream, because there was no clear designation as to, okay, who's going to stream. And I'm getting plagued with tweets. Kids are like, hey, stream me. And then when I don't respond because I'm busy, they end up just playing their game, and that's it. So not much I could really do there. It's okay, though. Overall, went really well. And the CSN staff is amazing. Those guys, they bust their butts like no other. There were some bumps in the road there, but, they get through it as they always do.
Yeah. What tournament doesn't have bumps, though?
I know. Even MLG has, crap ton of bumps. It's just how it is. no tournament's ever gonna go easy. That's just the nature of it,
Right.
It's funny because I specifically layered this questioning. So I wanted to ask about CSN, and then I also wanted to ask about, because earlier this week you did the helped with the Call of Duty 4 throwback event.
I organized that. Yeah.
And I mean, as far as bumps and things there, what do you have any comments out there for people who may have been watching, or even the teams that may have not have been as responsive as they should have been?
All you players are pains in the ass. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to be like too rude, but that's just a fact. Like, these guys are prima donnas. I was a player for 8 years, and I never complained the way that these people complain. I mean, we're talking about a free tournament, by the way. Got to give a shout out to UMAD Gear for helping me with that. And when we close out the tournament finally, which we have not had a chance yet, hopefully we will have the finals. The winners will get 4 UMAD Gear shirts. So those guys are the bomb, and Jeff is amazing, and I just want to thank him for that. But with that said, though, yeah, like, we had some no-shows. We had some players say they couldn't make it, some substitutions, all that stuff. It's what I expected. I expected out of these free tournaments, especially for a tournament that was COD 4, which is a game that no one's competing in right now. I just wanted to do it because all my timeline, I see people saying, oh, totally playing a COD 4 tournament. So I'm like, all right, if you're going to play, I'll throw one. And let's see how many people play. I ended up getting, like 25 teams signing up, which was pretty dope. And I was only going to use 8. And then people were complaining, so I was like, okay, I'm going to bump it up to 16. Bumped it to 16, and then everyone kind of just started no showing from there. So, it's always, I run small events because it's easier. But people want to play 16, they want to play 16,
Right. And I mean, I'll step in right now and represent my PC peeps, because we still use Call of Duty 4. I mean, we're still using it, but we can do things on the PC side that other people. I see Josh is over there smirking. He's like,
man,
I gotta represent my roots, man.
Listen, I'm born and raised console guy. Competing for years on the console. I will never switch. But I won't lie though, I have been very, very enamored by Counter-Strike as of late, and that's partly because of Corey's fault. Because Corey was like,
damn you, Corey.
Him and Wizenhunt are always like, well, you should always just come and watch some Counter-Strike. And I'm like, oh God. All right, Corey, I'll do it. And I watch Counter-Strike, and I'm like, wow, I'm having fun. So.
Have you been able to play the CS:GO beta? I think I saw you tweeting about it the other day.
I want to. I got the Super Monday Night Combat beta. I don't have the CS:GO beta.
I thought you got one.
Nah. I'm not. Like, people think for some odd reason, because like I went to like the LG offices, that meant I got all like the resources in the world. Hell no, man. I got nothing. I'm just a regular dude. That's why I just do what I do. That's what I always tell people.
Please give me a beta key.
I'm begging like everyone else.
Oh man, get this man a beta key.
When Super Monday Night Combat came out, it was the same thing. I was like, can I get a beta key, please? Like,
how did you like that, by the way? I got to sit down and play a bunch of that the other day.
Oh, I love it. I seriously believe Super MNC is like the future of esports. I'm just sold on this idea that it is. If there's when there's spectators and all this stuff, it's so good. It's like League of Legends, but for shooters. Like, how awesome is that? Seriously.
It's pretty sweet. And did you play the first one, or it's kind of just okay? Cool.
Yeah, I played the first one with like ZYN and Cloud from TLR and like all those guys. Played with them, but I sucked. I was like really bad. I still suck. I just really enjoy the game, but I'm garbage.
Yeah, used to that mouse and keyboard, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you could. When I first started playing on PC, I was that noob who like plugged in my Xbox controller and played.
Oh yeah, I do that. I do that. I play like mad games on Steam, and then I just like plug in my Xbox controller and I play Prince of Persia and like all these other games on there. Screw that, man. I'm not gonna go through that effort.
I don't know. I kind of switched over to PC though, but I still love my console though. So, let's see. I guess I'm trying to look at the chat here. We had one.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You have it. I'm looking for it. You obviously have.
Well, there's a question specifically. What advice would you give someone, Goldenboy, wanting to break into commentating, specifically in Modern Warfare 3, or maybe even just more in general?
So here's the story of how I began commentating, since I figured this will be a very good setup. Okay, so WCG Crossfire event, my friend Seltzer, who was just hot off of WCG Ultimate Gamer, they asked her if she can MC and commentate a Call of Duty tournament. There will be no stream, but it would be for the live audience that was there, which, by the way, was a substantial amount because it was held in the Samsung Experience, which had a lot of customers come in. So a lot of people were like, "What's going on?" Well, in any case, Seltzer was like, "I really don't know the game that well, but I'll do it. But let me have a friend help me out." So that friend was me. So I was playing in that tournament, but then she said, "Listen, you're a charismatic guy. Just grab the mic and just start talking." It's like, okay, fine. So I started just jibber jabbing, and then I started, joking around with people, making fun of people, and then when I started commentating the game, people were like, "Holy shit, this guy knows what he's talking about." Because I'm really, really good at Black Ops. Like that's just like that was my favorite. That one in COD too. So like I'm really good at those games, and because I put a lot of time and effort into it, so I knew everything. I knew where I needed to be, the call outs that needed to be made. I knew all those things, and it went really well. And then after that, more people I guess started to take notice, and then I started doing more local things of just emceeing events. I emceed like this one charity event, and then more moving forward. And I kind of just did it, and then I did like NJ Halo, and then I even did like Gears of War one time, and I just did it. Like sometimes you just got to do it. You have to have the confidence and the charisma to be able to do these things, and you have to be able to bullshit for hours upon hours upon hours because some people they don't get that. I've heard a lot of commentators in the past. I hop on streams all the time. If someone's hosting a tournament, I hop onto your stream, and I watch it, and I, take away from it what works, what doesn't work, and I hear a lot of sticks in the mud. A lot of people just like, well, you got a kill there, moving forward, good work, like the play. That doesn't really work. That doesn't really help out.
Yay!
Yeah, he's like, yeah, good job, buddy.
He shoots the other guy and he goes down. That's violent. Ew.
So yeah,
My
those
God,
things. Like you just gotta do it. But you have to have the charisma. Some people have it, other people don't. That's just how life is sometimes. Like for example, I will never be a top class PC player. I lack the skills with my hands to play PC games. But I'm pretty good with a controller. So it's like that may never happen. But if I practice enough, I could get good at it. But will I ever master it? I don't know. And I still don't even feel like I've mastered commentating. I know that there's so many bumps in the road, and so many things I need to overcome. So there's a lot of things, And to be honest with you, everyone thinks like I got Providence because I was a great caster. I got Providence because of luck. That's just that was the whole thing. The only reason why I'm here today is because of the fact that Holiday Doc had to work, and I covered for him, and that was it. And then it kind of just took off from there. I just got lucky, like most people in the world,
Yeah.
I wish I could say it was a story of valiancy, but it's just the truth. I just got lucky, and that's just how the cookie crumbles.
So
I think the most good. You me or you? Where are you going?
Well, I
was gonna say. I think the biggest thing is just get out and do it and keep doing it and keep working. I think that's probably like the biggest thing that I've heard a lot of people say, especially when it comes to commentating, is just do it.
Pretty much.
Right? Do you agree? Yeah.
That's it. Just get out and do it. You know what I mean? And you're not going to be perfect at first. The first thing I ever did when I grabbed the mic was at the Fight Club for Street Fighter. And my friend Barbosa, he just gave me the mic. He was like, here, just talk for a little bit because we lost two of our MCs. I was like, okay. So this is like the first time I ever grabbed the mic, and I was horrible. I was like the Dukin. Very good play there with a kick. And then Barbosa's like, get him off of the mic. I'm like, oh, God. I told him
that guy punched the other guy.
I will say that, fighting games are without a doubt the hardest game to commentate.
Oh, yeah. Fighting games.
Hands down.
I don't even think people really commentate fighting games. I think they
just scream.
And if you're Yipes, you just talk about mustaches and shit.
And East Coast.
He's like curly mustache, yeah, let's go.
He's like, I ain't biased to nothing, but I want combo free and outlets because I'm all East Coast.
I know Yipes before everything. He's just the funniest dude you'll ever meet, man. Dude just says stupid crap all the time. He's a funny guy. Without a doubt.
Stuff. I love the FGC.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
I think. All right, we're gonna take one pit stop here. And we're gonna give away one of our man packs. So here's what I want you to do. Okay. I want you. We're gonna do all this. I need you to follow at BossFightTV, at ManPacks on Twitter, and at Goldenboy for the win if you're not already, because you should. Okay. And what I need is, since we're kind of talking about Modern Warfare 3, I want you to tweet at us and tell me What is your favorite map in Modern Warfare 3? And if there's enough room, say why. And the first person to do that gets a man pack. First person to do it. First person. I'm hitting refresh. I'm hitting refresh.
I don't want to be biased, but C-Town.
C-Town?
Well, I'll go on this point right now and I'll rant. No Dome. I hate Dome with a freaking passion. I can't tell you guys how much I hate Dome. God.
I hate Dome. I was actually one of the matches I was commentating today. Dome was just like, just hate that map. Like I get why people like it because it's the only small map in the game, but seriously, it's not firing range. It doesn't work. Just give it up already. Like, this is not good. I want C-Town used more. I like C-Town because it looks like an Uncharted map. That's why.
I like C-Town because it reminds me more of Dust 2 out of Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
And it's not just kind of like that weird like rustic kind of feel to it, but it's actually, I mean, there's 3 alleys, you know, the bomb sites are relatively, you know, placed well. I mean, I know that was kind of one of the things going into this season that people were talking about is, you know, maps, but you know, at the same time we have the Elite program, so new maps are coming out. But yeah, if I had to pick my best or favorite, it would be C-Town, and then worst would be Dome.
Yeah,
Goldenboy, what about you? Best and worst?
Arcaden would probably be the best, in my opinion. Arcaden's great. The worst would be Dome. I think Dome's pretty butt, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of it. So I'm going to have to go with Dome for the last map. Dome or whatever big-ass maps in that game. Like, I only play those maps. I don't play anything else.
You know why I won't say Arcaden? Because it has a helicopter crashed in the middle of it.
And it reminds you of Crash?
The first Modern Warfare 3 tournament that I helped out locally, that we tried to do a LAN, I was helping doing admins on one of the sides. They're like, what map are we playing? I was like, you're playing the map that has the helicopter crash in the middle of it. And everybody's like, that's like 8 maps in this whole game.
Every map has a helicopter. Oh, man. All right, so we got our winner, Mr. IQ Split, IQ_split. So I will tweet at you, or you can go ahead and I'm going to follow you on the Boss Fight page. If you send me your address, we will get you your man pack and all that good stuff. So let's see. I got a question for you, Goldenboy. What is your I guess it's kind of a this or that. What's your favorite event or tournament that you've ever casted or watched as a spectator?
Okay. Does it have to be COD?
No. Anything.
Anything?
Anything.
Okay. All right. Favorite event I've ever watched as a spectator. I'm gonna break it up. I'm gonna answer the 2. So the favorite event I've ever watched was, and I forget the, it was oh god, it's at the tip of my tongue. It was out in Rutgers, New Jersey. It was a Smash
Devastation?
Tournament. No. It was a Smash tournament. Apex?
Oh, Apex.
Apex, yeah.
Apex. Love that shit. Oh, wait a minute. But then there's another one that comes to mind too. Reflex GT. Oh my god, those Europeans going to this one.
Oh man,
those guys do work. And I'm sorry, but I have another one too that was just like, I have 3. I know it's cheating.
You cheater.
Oh my god. I'm trying to think of it right now. Well, I mean, really, Providence was awesome too. I thought Providence was something special. So, you know, they were all so good, so good. Best event that I've ever commentated. Well, I mean, I think Providence would be unfair. So I'm not gonna say Providence because that was just like one of the most.
You could, I guess.
Dude, it was so epic. It was like with the next thread and leverage, and that game that went to like 8 rounds of OT and just, oh my god, it was so good. And then having League of Legends right there, and then Halo Cross, and god, what a good event. That FFA, that Big Flex FFA was like the sickest thing ever. I was like so into it. But I'm gonna have to say, Hypefestation when I casted the Raw Talent versus I think it was MBN match, where it was by far one of the most hype matches I have ever commentated in my life. Like, I heard people in the back screaming. I heard the players screaming. Even Gandhi was screaming. Like everyone was screaming. Even Barbosa and the staff were screaming. It was the sickest match ever. So I'd have to go with that one. Hyper Station
That's
2
awesome.
was by far one of the sickest events I'd ever seen. And it was all grassroots ran. That made it even better. So,
Awesome. I wanted to go to that tournament so bad. That would have been sick.
Hyper 16 is going to be great too, by the way. Just wanted to say. The new one that's coming out.
With I just wanted to ask, you've watched a lot of Reflex GT then, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion of A-Spec? Because I just watched Reflex GT, like a lot of it, the last time they did the Modern Warfare 3. I love that guy. What do you think of A-Spec?
He's that guy who like commentates, but like he doesn't necessarily know anything about the game, but he still commentates because he sounds really good.
Right.
Something like that. See, there's a thing, and I feel like the British people have a cheat over us. It's a cheat.
Is it the accent?
The fact that they're British. Like people listen to me and they're like, "Oh, this guy's Puerto Rican. Who gives a crap?" But you listen to like Rel. Like I commentated with Rel for the AverMedia Cup, which was another great event too for CSN, and I commentated with Rel. And like every time Rel introed into it, it was just like, "God damn you, Rel! Your voice is beautiful." You know, like if I did it, I'd really have to like make it up. I'd be like, well, the Cyber Sports Network, you know. And Corey Dunn like kind of fits in that category too. He's one of that rare breeds of individual that just have those like magically wonderful voices.
Yeah.
But yeah, and yes, Revin's in the chat. I got to give Rel a compliment. That's my boy. So what's up, son? Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much that. But A-Spec's hilarious though. He really is.
All right, cool. Mike, you got one, or do you want to grab one from the chat, or? If anyone has any questions, type it down there.
There is actually a question that I kind of wanted to like. I was gonna like secretly ask like after we were done with the interview, but I guess I'll go ahead and ask it now. I mean, if you want to, just go ahead and first, because we didn't really prompt you at the beginning of the show. If you could just give everybody like a quick rundown of like your history, like as a gamer, as a player, as a commentator. And then from there, I have one very, very specific question that I will ask.
Sure. So I started competing around 8 years ago. I got involved with like Halo 2 briefly, but it was never really anything serious. Like I really competed with Call of Duty 2, and that was just something I really loved. And I kind of just kept on going from there. I was always one of those guys that was like, I was always one of those guys that I felt like I was a round away from pro status. You know what I mean? Like I put in so much work, so much effort. I've always been a captain. You know, I've always led teams. I've always tried to be organized and just be professional. And that was always like my whole forte throughout my entire career. So, you know, I was always just one of those guys that just couldn't seal the deal, unfortunately. But I had the skill, had the ability, you know, I just had some bad runs. Like, for example, MLG Raleigh this past season, I was supposed to go in there and get top 8. That was the projection that we had from almost everyone in the community. My guy, turned out he, quote-unquote, broke his legs and couldn't make it to the tournament. And that ended that run. We ended up getting, like, 1-2'd, and then that was it. And it was just, like, the most – because we picked up a guy who – and the guy who did not make it was, like, our main dude. He was, like, one of our main players besides working. And that ended up just closing that one out. After that, that was the last event I competed in. And then what happened was I wanted to go to Providence. I said I was going to Providence no matter what because it was right there. So it was just a bus right away. And I told, what was it? I told Nexi. I was like, Nexi, hey, man, I'm going over there. And I commentated in Columbus briefly on Sunday with Sean Bellafury. I was like, well, you know, I would really like to do, like, community casting. Then they're like, all right, cool. And then Pucky called me. He said, well, we're going to offer you the Uncharted gig. So you're going to commentate, like, an Uncharted show match. So I was going to be my thing. Oh, sweet. I'm going to do that totally. And then one day I'm like at work randomly and I get off the train. I'm walking to my job site to visit one of my clients. And I get a call from Nexi, a voicemail. And he's like, hey, man, congratulations. You're the caster for Call of Duty Black Ops at Providence. So don't fuck it up. Peace. That was it. I was like, really?
Baptized by fire.
Yeah. So I called Nexi, got clarification. Doc couldn't go. And then I was nervous as hell to work with Corey because he always seemed like a real stern dude. Then when I met him and he was just like a troll, just like everyone else. Then I knew I was in good company. And that staff, by the way, at Providence, the guys who manage that Black Ops stream, by far hardest working and the best group ever. Love those guys. So,
I love those guys too.
yeah. Oz, come on, Enrique.
Oz, man. Oh, I don't know if he's watching, but I love Oz.
And Alpha and freaking Max, Nexy, and oh my god.
All of those guys.
Amazing. Love them.
Heck yes.
So, yeah. That's it, man.
So in general, we actually Royal Flush FTW asked, how long did it take you to get from where you? How long did it get you to where you are today? I mean, like if you would like guess like when you first got serious, like this is what I want to play competitively. You got it on team, to where you are now, like a community figurehead and commentating.
Say 6 years. 6 years, because the first 2 years I competed like on GB and stuff like that. But it was not until Rainbow Six got placed on the circuit, and then I was like, because mind you, I jumped from game to game. I was one of those guys. I was like, well, I'm not gonna succeed here, so I'm just gonna go. That was like my mindset when I was younger. But I kept on having good success in a lot of these tournaments. Usually, whenever I competed, never placed out of the top 8. Usually, but sometimes I'd get knocked out. But it was always like I'd have a good run. We had a good team in Rainbow. We were supposed to go to Charlotte for the first event, the one that XBLB won, and I never made it because my teammate sketched on me like 3 days before the event. So that was that. Me and my brother, we were teammates and we were gonna drive, but we were just like whatever, and that was it. Turned out that guy who sketched on me ended up getting pro status. And that's the story of my life, by the way. Everyone that I have teamed up with at one point or another has achieved pro status. Almost everyone. In Shadowrun, I teamed with Shempanic. He went on to win the national championships. In Rainbow, I teamed with a guy named Courage. He ended up placing top 8 with some team. I forgot the name of the team. In COD, I teamed with Pac-Man and Maniac and all those dudes. And pretty much everyone that I know in COD, like at one point or another, I teamed with them all pro. This has been the story of my life. Just like that guy that just helped everyone else like get over the hurdle, which is fine by me. I'm okay with where I am right now.
Is that kind of one of the reasons you jumped into casting?
Nah, I'd still be playing right now.
You just do what you do.
I'll still be playing right now, to be honest with you. I every day I want to play, but one of the things was like I'm married, so I want to make sure I spend time with my wife as much as I possibly could. Which sometimes even this particular lifestyle seems to be very difficult to maintain. Secondly, someone needed to be out there to be that positive voice for the community. I'm going to be very frank and honest. I feel like there are a lot of people out there that just do it for themselves, and they don't really care about esports or competitive gaming or Call of Duty or anything like that. And we get heat all the time from different angles. But I just say, fuck it, I'm just going to do what I do and continue to be the positive person that I always am. And that's pretty much it. And so that's why I continue to do this, because I feel like right now nobody else is really doing it. No one else is being positive for this community. Everyone has an ulterior motive, which is fine because it's business, and I understand that. But I'm just being honest.
Let's go ahead and because that's a really good transition. That specific question I had, I'll go ahead and hold off a little bit longer. We actually had Stevie Zapp. I wish I could pronounce it. First off, my English is horrible if you guys have seen me typing. But he specifically, how do you see the future of competitive COD playing out? I mean, specifically, here we are, Black Ops was huge last season. Here we are now, MLG Winter Championships, no Call of Duty. We're getting feedback from, Bowling, 402 and people from within the development of the game, specifically like, here are the needs that we need for competitive play. And they're just kind of like, we'll see what we can do. I mean, I know MLG is doing their, with the, game battles. They're doing the full seasons now. I mean, do you feel that is going to push us farther into the actual, more live events? Or do you feel that, we just need to, more community effort from everybody?
Let me see. So the Winter Championships, one of my biggest gripes, and I went to the MLG offices every week from December to, I'd say, from December to February for weekly warfare. And I was very, very frustrated that every time I went there and I would ask, they would have nothing. They would have no information or anything. They were trying. That much I can say. Puckett did his damnedest to make sure Weekly Warfare was one of the best shows on the internet, and by golly, it was, in my opinion. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I loved being a part of it. As far as these seasons are concerned, I want to see these seasons go further because it's something reminiscent of Cal, but I don't know how far that's going to go. When players don't show up for their matches, teams are breaking up constantly. It's very, very difficult to do these kinds of things. But GB seems to be committed to it. What we got in place of a Winter Championship was a tournament that happened on the same day as the March Mayhem tournament called the March Madness tournament, where the players played for $800 for, I think it was like $800 for first place or so, for something like that. Now, I mean, I don't feel like it's going to feed into it. I feel like, we're just going to continue doing what we do. And the fact is that my personal opinion, we need to step away from MLG and do what the Gears of War community has been doing, doing what the fighting game community has been doing. Actually, to be honest with you, doing what everyone except Halo has been doing. And that means that is going to be stop being dependent on Major League Gaming to do well for us. Because you know what? They're a business, and they're going to look at what business they can make. And right now, StarCraft is their business. And they're doing Halo, in my personal opinion. I think the only reason why they're doing Halo is because they can't do COD. Which I guess kind of sucks because I really do like watching Halo, and I think all those guys and the legacy and the history it has. But, I was convinced every day that I went into that office that Halo was not going to be there in Columbus. And boy, I was wrong, as I'm pretty sure a lot of people were too, because we all thought we were going to be in Columbus, and that kind of just sparked it. It was like, well, we don't need them. We could do so much. Fry Cup's coming out. That's going to be done on 360 Icon. CSN's doing tournaments. Beyond Gaming's doing tournaments. Those are three major companies right there running tournaments online. We're going to have the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge for a LAN event. NJ Halos happen on a monthly basis, pretty much. And Rod Lane needs to develop those events to become bigger, in my personal opinion. You're going to have Devastation coming around the corner. They run COD, and I will be willing to go up there and organize and host the event. So lots of stuff.
Well, what's funny is Devastation actually is it's a fighting game organization. They started out only doing fighting games, so I think that they may, they have the formula. Yeah. See how they run with it.
Because they had COD in the last one, they just had the rules all messed up. They had Gears in the last one, and that went really well, but they only ran 2v2. So I want to get in contact with Jedi Route and be like, dude, you get me out there to Arizona, I will commentate, stream, and run this bitch. Let's make it happen. That's what I'm going to try and do. But yeah.
I think we were in there at the same time, but there was a question posted from the MLG forums specifically because we're on the topic. Other than LAN, what would you personally like to see the next Call of Duty that would make it more competitive? I mean, maybe that's Black Ops 2, or maybe that's a reformation of Modern Warfare 3.
Black Ops 2 is going to be the saving grace, in my personal opinion, of competitive Call of Duty because he gets it. The problem is, are we going to use Black Ops for 2 years until the next Treyarch made game? Secondly, what I think should be in there, take out death streaks. Let's make the game competitive from the ground up. Let's try this out. Call of Duty 2 was a massively successful game at that time. Didn't have any perks, didn't have anything, none of that crap. Let's just try it out. We need new game types as well. And we also need better spectating options. I think spectator mode is going to be one of the biggest things for this game. We need that because you cannot have look at what we have right now with Call of Duty. When I did the CSN tournament, I did an overlay on the top left because Infinity Ward was too to put in a freaking a mini map. Are you serious? There's no mini map, but there's a mini map in Black Ops and COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2. There's no mini map in Modern Warfare 3. How does that make any kind of sense? So it's those are the things that need to be viewed at. You need the screen needs to show information that is detrimental to the game. I was looking at the ESEA tournament where they were doing 1.6, and they had the 5 players on the side, their health bars, what teams were playing, the round count, the sponsors. It was beautiful. I was why can't something like that be integrated into Call of Duty? That's what I would like to see moving forward. So
I agree because and the thing is, it seems like a lot of the PC shooters are the ones who have been doing spectator right for all these years. Because you even look at other games like Halo, they don't actually have very good spectator mode either. Because there's
They have
so none.
They have nada.
And it's funny because you were talking about hey, you need to make the game more competitively, whatever, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
But I remember I watched back, I think it was about a week ago, you started the like for fun thing where you like got on Twitter and you were like, hey, jump in here, and it was like no perks and no gun add-ons and stuff. That was the coolest thing ever. Seriously, like that was one of my biggest gripes, just like with all the kill streaks and all the things that they added into it. That was just like down home, like just straight gameplay.
That was it was one day when I was so bored and I was at work and mind you, Weekly Warfare was canceled that same week. So I was like, well, we're gonna call it Weekly Funfair.
Yes, that's what it was. I couldn't remember what it was called.
And then I was like, I hate perks. I hate attachments. I am a Call of Duty 2 player. I hate all of that crap. I think it's stupid. You don't need it. The only thing you need is Dead Silence if you really want to have a perk in there. That's it.
Right.
I'm fine if they re-release COD 2 with Dead Silence. I will be the happiest kid on the planet because there's no reason for it. You don't, like, how does it make any sense is what I'm trying to make sense of here. Why are we playing with perks? Why are we playing with attachments? Like get good, like
right.
It just makes no sense. I don't know, just strip the game down to the bare. It's not difficult to do that. You just strip the game down and then you just kick it off from there and then see what happens. But everyone wants to have their stopping power or their or whatever the hell, the quick draw. And what kind of crap is that? Like what competitive game in the history of competitive games use stopping power, quick draw, more ammo? Hey, Shadowrun had that crap? No, it didn't. Shadowrun, you bought it, but like the other dude could buy it too, and everyone used the same stuff. Like, come on,
right.
Get real.
I mean, it's almost kind of like not to make the parallel, but like stock car racing, like everybody is on a level playing field. Yeah. That's the most competitive thing there is, I think.
And it was fun as hell to watch, to be honest with you. I thought that when I was commentating it, I was having a good time because there was a guy using the sniper, and he was kicking ass with that shit. My God, he's so good. So, yeah.
Oh, that was good
that's
stuff.
Just me.
So, I mean, we should expect more of that in the future, definitely. Continuing on.
Do more of those. Those are fun, and who knows? Maybe they might catch on, and then people get the hint. That. But see, the thing is, like, I would like that to happen, but I know it never will because the greater amount of players won't go for that. And secondly, because they feel like they need those crutches. And then secondly, I would say it's the developer. The developer would hate to see that their entire game, what they've built, stripped down as just saying this is gay, this is gay, this is gay. Like, not to use that word, but it's true. Like, they would hate to see it happen. So I'm pretty sure Vandahar would be pissed because he didn't even want us to ban. I know for a fact that he didn't want us to ban the FAMAS. It felt like the FAMAS should have been banned in Black Ops like ages ago, but it never was. So I give Vandahar credit for going back and tweaking it. It just wasn't enough. But yeah, so who knows? Maybe more in the future. Let's see what happens.
Hopefully.
I know my dad wants to play in the next one.
Sweet.
Like legit, Josh can vouch. My dad is hardcore in a Call of Duty.
Oh my God!
Straight rip on kids. Like
every time we're on Skype, you can just hear him in the background, like he's on B, like screaming from the other room.
That is amazing. A funny thing, I would love to take the camera and show it to you. My wife and my brother-in-law are playing Halo, like right in the other room, and my mother-in-law is just there watching and on the computer. So yeah, this is a gaming family in this house.
You guys have me so jealous. Nobody I'm like the only person in my family who plays video games, so I'm jealous.
My wife had to pick it up. She had to pick it up over time. It's like, come on, bro.
I mean,
I play video games.
You married Goldenboy. I mean, you have to. Oh man.
I agree.
Let's
Let's go
take.
ahead.
I was gonna give away another man pack.
Well,
What do we
let's do
pick?
it.
Can we do it? All right. I'm trying to think of a
Let's do
question.
it.
How about let's let Goldenboy come up with a question.
Nice. All right.
So
Cool.
before you come up with a question, I'll give you time to think of one. So here it is for those of you who weren't with us before. You need to follow at BossFightTV, at ManPacks, at Goldenboy for the win. And if you have enough room, try to mention all three of those in your response. And this is the first person to tweet at us. And you get a man pack. If you don't know what a man pack is, it's basically all of your essentials: socks, boxers, razors, stuff like that. It's going to come in like this care package, really awesome. And you are going to get to customize it yourself. So first person to tweet at BossFightTV, at ManPacks, at Goldenboy for the win will win a man pack. You got a question, Goldenboy?
All right. Here's a good one. What was the name of the team that won the one and only Shadowrun National Championships? Go.
Oh.
I don't even know
that. I don't even have to hit up that Google.
Oh,
Josh,
you know?
Okay, well, no. Well, I'm not going to say it, but Josh, please tell everyone at home how fanatic I am about Shadowrun. How many copies do I have?
You own like 30 copies of Shadowrun.
Can we like LAN up? Like, you want to do this?
Every time I go into GameStop, I was like, hey, do you have a copy of Shadowrun? Hey, do you have one of the ones I gave you? Legit, every LAN party I run, I have like, at least 20 copies. I'm like, hey, we should play this game, and I just hand them out. Like in the greater Cincinnati area, they have like a wanted poster like hanging up with like a picture of my face, like
it's around here
do not
somewhere.
let this guy buy Shadowrun. He's like he's like marketing, running a monopoly on Shadowrun.
Wait a minute. Zero BC cannot win. Just want to say that he cannot win. Only because he knows. I know that he knows, so he cannot win.
We have. Here, I'm gonna type it in a chat, and you tell me if this is correct. Because I'm a noob.
Googles.
Let's see here.
Is that?
Yes.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have. Let me pull this up here. We have Paul Megna at EGO. Is that Thelcon? I believe. At EGO.
Don't give it to that bum. That's ego.
Dude, he was first.
Give it to him.
All right, I'm gonna follow you right now on the Boss Fight Twitter. Just send us a direct message with your address and also your email address. I forgot to say that. I'm gonna send it back to the other guy too. He did send us. I need your email address so we can send it to the people at ManPack so you guys can link up and all that good stuff.
Revan was literally one or so seconds behind Ego on that one. And then Topsy was like right behind Ego, or Revan, I should say.
So many people.
That's crazy.
So congratulations. We're going to give away one more before we're done tonight. So be on the lookout for that. I'll let Mike come up with the next question because I came up with the other one.
I specifically wanted to say, because we talked about, as far as competitive Call of Duty, we talked about the game itself and how to make it competitive. Now I'd like to change the focus onto the community, because I think that's one of the things that has always been kind of questioned, lingering in everybody's mind. First specifically, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you in the chat and a lot of other people out there know that, basically Twitter is like the main tool utilized for people to try and find teams. But all I ever see are people like at MLG, at Goldenboy, I'm a good Slayer looking for good team, need to for blah, 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 and whatever it is. Do you feel like it's really being utilized, Twitter being utilized to find teams? Like, I haven't really seen like any real legit teams like come out of Twitter. As far as people looking to join teams or people, trying to like break into the competitive realm, what advice would you give them?
Okay, so like, if you look at the spaces that are available for that kind of interaction, this is a two-part question, so I know I'm full of those. For the first part, Twitter is not good. It's not really a good social hub. For like finding teams, every day I get spammed by like 6, 7, maybe 8 tweets of people saying, "Could you please RT this for me? Looking for a team RT please, looking for 2 Slayers RT. I'm like, all right, why? That's what I asked him. I asked myself. The other one that, by the way, is equally as annoying is someone says, hey, what was the? They're always like, need 100 followers, need 200 followers. Like, you don't need 100 followers.
Right.
You want 100 followers. There's a clear difference. Getting 100 followers will actually do nothing for you. Because when I had 100 followers, I can tell you right now, the money was not pouring down the chimney. So getting 100 followers really doesn't happen. One thing I've never done in my entire time using Twitter has asked for followers. I've never asked people for followers. I've never done that. I never will, because I don't think it's right. Even when, to be honest with you, I don't go on Twitter and I hit up like Astro and Quiz, please RT does any followers. Like, if I RT them, it's like, hey, check out this tournament. You know what I mean? Check this out. Every tweet that I make is detrimental to esports, because that's what I love. That's my passion. If you notice, my Twitter is all about that. Very rarely do I even talk about myself and my personal life on there, but that's just how I am. I love esports that much. So, when people use that as a way of like promoting and then finding teams and all that, it doesn't really work. The thing is, for a newer individual to try and get into competitive gaming, and most importantly competitive COD, it's that you want to go to like these different places, but you want to like post on forums, but you don't know what these people are going to say, because some of these people are like really rude, and I would be like testament to that. I've seen some horrible people on the Game Battles forums, like, whoa. And I know Ego's in the chat, but I've seen bad people on the 360 Icons forums. Not a disgrace to Ego, by the way. I just want to say anything like that. Just, these are people. It's going to be like that wherever you go. Moderation plays a key factor into that. Obviously, Game Battles forums are not really that moderated all the time. In 360 Icons, those guys do so much already as it is. To have to like moderate the forums too, it's like very, very difficult. So I can only understand the frustrations there. What I feel like this community needs, and I said it before and I'll say it again, we need our Team Liquid. We need our hub. We need our home. A lot of people have contacted me about that, but I am actually going to say something quite exclusive today, in that I'm turning the GOML into that. My website, I'm turning it into that.
Awesome.
What I feel like we're missing is a place where people can find tournaments that are not ran by the organization of the website. See, my website does not run tournaments for financial gain or popularity. All that does not matter to me. So I'm approaching this with a very Halo Council-ish perspective. I think that we need just a place where people can like tell, okay, there's a tournament going on this week. Let me plan this out. Here's the times. Here's the the amount of teams, things like that. And that's what I want to turn the GOML into. It's taking that and just giving a resource for players. I don't care if 5 people check it out or 500 people check it out. I just care that there's a resource there for people to look at in case when they Google search, they'll search COD tournaments. I would love for that GOML link to be there so that they can say, oh, I can click here and find tournament links. I think that's very important. But yeah, so
That's so awesome, because we actually do that same idea on a local scale with a local website we have where we're based out of in Cincinnati, and we kind of want to do the same thing where it's like your central location for all of the tournaments that are going on. That's like the best idea ever. So
yeah,
is there like an ETA on when that's gonna kind of transition over?
Looking at the end of March. I'm
Awesome.
working with my friend Simplex to get this going, because the thing is that, I work a 9-to-5 job, very difficult to have to manage all this, plus the casting and all the other stuff. And what I want other people to understand is that this website, it's not meant to take away from anyone. If anything, all my website is going to be littered with links to all these other people so that they can just go and check it out, because I think 360 Icons, what those guys are doing is phenomenal. I think the Frag Cup is the biggest thing that happened for us this year in Call of Duty, and the year just began, so that's fantastic. And they're going to continue to do big things. But at the same time, we have a lot of different tournaments sprouting up, or like, little online events. And hey, maybe Joe Blow, amateur player, wants to play in that. Maybe not the top players in the world, but maybe, you know, because we know those guys, they're in it for the money, most of them, and that's just the fact, and it is what it is. But there are some players that want to actually, like, play and compete in tournaments on a regular basis. 360 Icons does that right now, and they provide something like that every single week. There are also other people, too, that are doing these tournaments as well. Maybe they might not want to compete in the giant tournaments that 360 Icons runs. Maybe they want to compete in a smaller 16-team tournament. Gamo will link you to that. Gamo will show you, okay, you can go here and play too, you know. But at the same time, the other purpose of this is to not create overlap, which I feel is one of the biggest issues that we had. Today, we had the March Madness tournament, the March Mayhem tournament. I don't think Ego did a 360 Icons tournament today. I'm not too sure. I didn't see anything about it. But then if you look at the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, it's the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, the CSN AverMedia Cup. Pretty sure the 360 Icons event's going to be that week. And, of course, NJ Halo. So it's like you have so much overlap. And it's like if the community organizers, the tournament organizers can work together to kind of like spread around that overlap, I think it'll be really good, you know, for all of us. But everyone wants like 1 million teams signing up to the tournament. So I don't know how that's going to work. But, hey, one step at a time is my mindset on it all.
Goldenboy, the United Nations of gaming. Keep everyone together.
Puerto Rico. Or the Bronx, one or the other.
Or the Bronx.
We are an island of our own. And we're not even an island, so yeah.
All right, Mike, you want to ask...
Well, there was a question here in the chat. Yeah,
that one.
Specifically about, you know, there are like, you know, there are so many of these tournaments that are coming out that are online, maybe not so much, you know, LAN anymore. But what do you think about like people who are, you know, like, you know, little Jimmy sitting at home, you know, playing Call of Duty. He wants to get into competitive gaming, and his parents just kind of shoot him down. I mean, what advice would you say? I guess to competitive players to say to their parents to accept, you know, competitive gaming as an entertainment medium?
Well, for one, I'd show them the numbers, right? I'd show them the numbers of what a league like LG has managed to accomplish. Then I'd show them prime examples of individuals who have made it. Secondly, I would have them call me, where I will talk with them and tell them why I think they should be competing, because I think that that is very important. If not call me, then email me. And I can email them and I will describe to them and provide all that information because I think it's very important, you know? So, and I've done it before. There have been a lot of kids out there that have, like, a lot of my former teammates, people that I met at MLG events, like, for example, when I was in Providence, there was this mother, and she was there with her, actually, better example, King of the Couch. I was at NJ Halo, and there was a father there. He brings these 4 kids, and they compete in every single tournament. And the father has like no idea what's going on. He's just like, I just don't get it. So I just sat down with him, you know, and I had to commentate like in 5 minutes. I took 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm gonna explain to you why your kids are right now in a great position, because they were beating top players, by the way. It's not like they were like really going neck and neck. These kids were, I think the oldest kid in that team was 13, and everyone was like between the ages of 9 and 13. That entire team, they were all kids, and they were so good. They were actually giving the assassin, a run for his money. They were giving Scump a run for his money. Like, they were pretty good kids, I won't lie. And and I told the father, I was like, well, you know, esports is something that is growing. It's going to continue to grow, and it's a sub-region of video games, which is something that no one thought would be a valued success. And now look, Call of Duty still stands as one of the highest selling products of all time. And, you know, that is something you can't ignore. And I continued to sit down. He was like, thank you for your perspective. I really appreciate it. And that was it. Changed him forever. Brings his kids to every single NJ Halo event. I think that's what's most important. So just try and, like, just show them that this isn't a joke, you know? And there are ways to do that now.
You know, and it's funny because I actually had back in, I'm going to tell my, you know, what's funny is the joke. I have my funny story now. Back in 2007, when I was competing at the World Series of Video Games, I actually had a friend of mine who wanted to compete, you know, be in that experience. You know, me and him would play, you know, online from time to time, and he just wanted to be able to experience competitive gaming. And I had to come over for a family dinner and actually explain to his parents why he should be able to go to this event. And we're the same age. So my parents have always been supportive, and, you know, they've always, you know, backed me 100%. They, they're looking for my best interest. But I had to go and explain to his parents. Now, his parents are huge NASCAR fans. So I basically had to explain to them, how competitive gaming is like NASCAR. How many people do you know that can drive a car? That's a lot of people. How many people do you know that would like to drive cars competitively, like on a circuit, at their local track or whatever, which we had been to LAN parties and stuff before? And then how many people do you know that actually race cars competitively, like in NASCAR? And, that's how I basically, hammered it down to them because, it's okay for them to watch, a race on the weekend or actually go out to, a specific race to their local racetrack. And that's how I had to explain it to them is that, this is competitive gaming, at least to me, is just like anything else. Nobody predicted that, it's going to be this, this huge event and you're going to get sponsors and flown around the world. And, you can make, almost make a living. I don't know if we're exactly there yet, but there are certainly people that have done it and have worked the angles right. But I mean, I would, it's a hobby first and foremost. I don't think anybody out there should be tricked into thinking that you're going to go pro and make a living. Like it's not a job, it's not a job offer. It's not a sustainable way to make yourself, make yourself a living. But that being said, if it's something that you love, get out to your local tournaments, get out to your local LANs, and you know what? If you've never been to a major event, I don't care if it's a fighting game event, I don't care if it's an MLG, I don't care what it is. Watch them online. If you've got one close enough, go to it, and just do what makes you happy, because that's how I did it. That's how I explained it to this, my friend's parents, and that's from that day on, they never questioned me. And I think there is kind of. What's funny is I actually wrote an article about I called it the second wave of esports. Back when I was playing, video games were still a waste of time. It was something that you did in between when you got home from school and when you went to finish your homework, or if you wanted to waste time in your parents' basement. Now you have things like the Wii. You have things like, the Kinect, and gaming is more acceptable in the mainstream. So just explain it in that fashion. This is something I love doing. It's a hobby. I'm going to go out to this tournament. And you know what? If I don't place top 8, then whatever. But you know what? If I do, then, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%.
So if your parents are giving you a hard time, call up Alex and he will help you out.
Or email me. Email would be better. My phone, I don't want it to blow up.
I know. I was just joking.
Like, my son Timmy said that he wants to play video games. Is he crazy? No, ma'am, he's not crazy. No, please understand.
It actually might be a good YouTube video too. Like, do a little YouTube video, like frequently asked questions or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that actually
cool.
would be pretty cool. Maybe someone more higher up in the food chain could do that, but not StarCraft. Those guys, they don't live in our world. So I prefer to not. No, like they're on a separate portion of the planet. Just leave them there. They're all separate beasts. Yeah, pretty much. Who knows? Maybe I'll do it, but we'll see what happens.
Right. Does anyone just ask in the chat if anyone has any questions? Throw them up there. Mike, did you have?
I'm going to ask my specific question. We actually have. We had joked when we did. We do our weekly show called The Reload, which is basically like the rundown of all the events happening in esports. That's up every Wednesday. And one of the events we covered a while ago was the World Cyber Games, and kind of like their selection of games and whatnot. Now I know that you had actually competed in Asphalt 5, which for those of you who don't know is a racing game on the phone. Can you tell us about that experience, and then I'll ask you another question after that.
I'm gonna tell you this much. I was the best time in my life competing in Asphalt. That was amazing. I am a professional Asphalt 5 player, in all seriousness.
You didn't switch to 6?
No, I play 6. I play 6. I'm fucking good at it too, but I just, I don't, this WCG doesn't use it, or at least the American section, I can't compete in it. So I didn't. I would have totally went for it. Okay, so here's how it began. My friend Aaron Hassel, he works for Beyond Gaming now. He worked for WCG. And then I was like, man, I really, really want to go to LA for the national championships because all my friends were going to be there, and the Ultimate Gamer people, and I knew most of those guys because I went to the auditions and met a lot of them. And I was like, man, I really, really want to be there. So, Aaron's like, well, you know, we have this like qualifier for Asphalt 5. It's like this stupid cell phone game. He's like, if you want to play, let me know, and you come by and qualify, and you know, I'm pretty sure no one could be. You're a good gamer, you know what you're doing. So I never played a racing game on a cell phone before, and I remember at that time I was actually unemployed, so I was just sitting there, and I bought an iPod, right, because I wanted to play the game properly. I was playing it on the cell phone, on my cell phone, but it was kind of crappy, so I bought an iPod, and I was able to practice more thoroughly on there. And it was so awesome. I love that game. I played against like all these German people that apparently were training for WCG, and I beat like a lot of them. And I was really, really good. So then I went to the qualifier, and I ended up placing a really good score, like really high score. Then when I went to the website and looked, I saw that the Koreans had beat my score by like 3 times. Oh my God. So I realized I was never going to be able to beat a Korean. That's when my first encounter with a Korean was. I ended up playing against a Korean online. He just dominated me completely. So I qualified, and then that day, my friend Robski, my friend Ghost, and Seltzer, they were all going out. Seltzer was, there were 3 people. It was 3 qualification spots for that, because they were sending 3 representatives for Asphalt. And then there was a 4th representative that would win on site at the national championships. So they took me, I qualified, I was first place, and I taught my friend Rachel how to play like that day. I taught her how to play, and she ended up qualifying in the second place
The
slot.
same day?
That same day she qualified. And
does that speak to how good the game, how terrible the game is, or how good Seltzer is?
I think she's a good player. She's a good gamer. She knows what she's doing. And it's a simple game, but it's deceptively hard, you know. And the track that we were playing was actually the hardest track in the game to play, because I had like these 2 really, really difficult drops that ended up being the downfall and the reason why I didn't go to the global championships. So the 4 of us, actually, it was scratch that. Now that I think about it, So Seltzer, myself, and Ghost qualified. Robski did not qualify because Ghost ended up beating him like on the score. It was so funny. He was so mad. I will never forget that. And then we went to LA. Best fucking trip ever. It was so awesome. They had freaking tacos at a bar, and I just ate tacos all day. It was so good. And I ended up paying for my trip, my hotel, everything. It was so amazing. Anyway. So, and they gave us tickets to Universal Studios. I had a Pro Player Pass. Let me see. I actually have it here, and I'll show you guys. They gave me. These are all the things of all the events that I've gone to. I'm pretty sure there are people that have like a lot more than I do. So here we go. This is it right here. The WCG player. This is the Pro Player Pass, and it was just so awesome. I had such a good time at that event, and I ended up placing in second because Shadosha nicked me in the side on the 3rd race in the best of 3, and I lost by like a second, by like 0.2 seconds. Like I was like right behind him. There was no chance in hell I was ever going to catch up. So that was it. I was mad, but WCG, like Paul Brewer and all those guys, ended up giving me money for it anyway, and I ended up getting a free phone from it too. So it wasn't bad. Go. It was a fun experience. Yeah, but I am a pro. I'm a pro. Just want to throw that out there, guys.
What's funny is we actually the night that we did that episode, and we kind of jostled, between me and Josh, we're like, oh, Asphalt 6, results and blah blah blah, and they actually there was a guy from Africa.
It was like Uganda or
they apparently WCG had a tour stop like in his village. The guy has never seen a computer. They don't have running water, electricity. Picks up the game, plays it. It's the only one there at the expo, and gets qualified and gets flown out to Korea to compete for it.
It was the coolest thing.
We were talking about that, and actually, our production manager Ricky, aka the Rickster, has actually that night purchased Asphalt 6.
We bought it and we played it.
And I'll contact you later, but I think he wants to play you. I think he like legit. He wants to go pro and see if you can like if you guys can team up and WCG
Wait,
next year.
are they qualifying for WCG next year? How are they doing that? Like, because I didn't see it. Like, I would have found out. I didn't see anything about it.
It's funny because they put the vote. They put there's a web page where you can go on and you can vote for the next games. And one of the things I think it's listed, but they also have like Skyrim listed as like RPG game.
Yeah. So
I was like, why? And there's like Portal 2 like under FPS. I'm like, what is? You can't have
remember
like one
the company in Korea. They have no idea what they're doing sometimes. So.
Right.
Skyrim speedrun like 30 days later, like 100% the game.
Dude would have like the scraggly beard from that commercial. He'd have a cat in his hand. It just look like all crazy playing Skyrim. He took an arrow, like he took multiple arrows to the knee.
Yeah, I'm pro at Skyrim. I'm pretty sweet. You can catch me at WCG 2012.
MLG, pick this up.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Let's see. I saw a question. Where did it go? It was about different. From Asolis. Yeah. How different do you think the Call of Duty community would be if there wasn't so many separate ladders? So you have the TDM, S&D, CTF. Everyone's kind of separated. So how do you think it would be different if kind of everyone just played the same, game types on the same ladder?
So here's my thing about game battles and that website. I feel like there's 3 steps to competitive COD, which I feel like are too much. You have the public match step, right? That's where everyone plays public matches and whatever they pick around. Then you have game battles, normal rules, which is no better than public matches, and then you have competitive COD. So there are 3 levels. I agree with Ace. They should section it down. But the amount of rage that those kids would have on that website, I think there would be more suicides that day than have been done in such a long time. Because when they took down the hardcore ladder for Modern Warfare 2 or something like that, I never seen so many people like there's a hardcore community that wants to play this game, and we really, really like it. I'm like, what the fuck, hardcore community? Like, you're just playing the same game. Like,
everyone's together.
It's like hardcore. It makes no sense. Well, yeah. So. That's just how it is. One of my friends, my old teammate working, he was like, yeah, I used to play S&D hardcore all the time on GB. I'm like, you nerd, you suck. That's it. But, it's whatever. I think they should. It'd be better. And also, I think it'll kind of just prevent boosting. But remember, GB, it's not about what the quality, it's about the quantity. So, and it's a business. They need to make money. They need to show that people are using their site all the time. So having multiple ladders is them being able to do that. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what a lot of people don't realize, especially with MLG. Of course there's a giant community connected to it, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's a business. You can't really do anything about it.
Pretty much. It's how it is. It's the nature of the beast. Game Battles does what it does. It'll be... For right now, I think it serves a good purpose of being a step. Now, I feel like Call of Duty Elite's more of that step, but Game Battles is also that step of just taking a game to another level, because it's going outside of the Xbox to the computer, and that's important, because once that person's at the computer, that's when you tell them, hey, well, you can watch this, you can watch that, So I guess Game Battles serves a decent purpose, but if Game Battles had allowed people to post on the forums, like links to tournaments and all that, but that's a different story for another day.
Yeah. Well, that's what GOML's for, right? Or that's what it's gonna be for.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hop on that.
All
right.
I'll hop on that.
I think we'll ask a couple more questions, and then we'll let you go get with your family. Don't want to take too much more of your time. Does anyone? Oh, let's see what. Nope, that was not a question. When is?
That was not a question.
I'm trying to read.
Josh going all grandpa. What?
Hold on, let me read this.
I have a question for you guys.
Oh.
Let's turn it like that. What made you guys want to make Boss Fight?
Do you want to go, Mike, or do you want me to answer?
I can start if you want.
It's up to you.
There's a book of how this story begins.
No, okay.
You know what's hilarious? I can legit write a book.
We really could. So I guess I guess I could start it, and Mike can give his side because he comes from, Mike used to work with GotFrag, so that was like an old school website. If you guys don't remember GotFrag, it's been around for a while, not really around anymore. It's there, but it's not,
It's there.
there. So, this whole, next wave of esports kind of hit us, and the funny thing is, I mentioned earlier in the show, we run a local website, cincifrag.com. That's CINCI frag.com, and that's the website where it's kind of like where you want to kind of put everything together. All the tournaments that are going around in the area, and so we sat there. We grew it as much as we could. We ran LAN parties. We went to go cover other tournaments, other LAN parties, things that are going on. And it got to the point where we were like, you know what? We really want to take this to the next level. And by the time that kind of rolled around, this is when kind of esports was exploding. And we literally, this 2 a.m., 3 a.m. at IHOP, okay? We have a whole bunch of our gamer friends. We all go to this local Arcade Legacy in Cincinnati. Shirt.
Up a shirt.
I just happen to be wearing it today. We go to this Arcade Legacy place, and that's in Cincinnati. They do a lot of tournaments and stuff, which is Power Up this year. It's an EVO qualifier, Road to EVO event. It's going to be held there. And so it was after the arcade one day. We sat down at IHOP, and we were like, "Yo, let's take this idea and let's bring it to like a worldwide scale. Instead of reporting on tournaments around here, let's report on all the tournaments." And here's like where it kind of ended, because you look out there at all of the great websites out there. Every single esports website out there, you look at Team Liquid, that's just StarCraft. You look at even ESFI, they cover a lot of games, and I love what they do. I'm a huge fan of ESFI, I always have been. But our goal was to cover everything. Everything. I'm talking not just StarCraft, not just Call of Duty, not just Counter-Strike, not just League of Legends, not just Dota, not just fighting games. It's everything, which is kind of what GotFrag was. And the thing is, we knew it was going to be a huge undertaking. We knew it when we started it. And we're still not even anywhere near where we want to be now, because if you think about how many staff and how many people it takes to follow the entire world of esports, it's a lot. And we're running right now with like it's about, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, it's about 10 people. So you have 10 people trying to cover everything. And we had a fighting game tournament this week down in Atlanta. The Scan Invitational was today for StarCraft. We have the Intel Extreme Masters tournament going on all week. There's a Dignitas Dota tournament going on next weekend. Then there's MLG a week after that. And then there's an EVO qualifier the same weekend. Like, there's always so much stuff going on. And it's really hard. And that's, we're trying to reach out to people and grow our staff. And hopefully that vision will kind of, grow into what we want it to be. And, the reason why we wanted to start this, and I'll let Mike take off right here after I say this, is we are passionate about gaming and esports. We want to see it succeed on all fronts. I don't want it to just be StarCraft. I don't want it to just be Call of Duty. I want to take everybody, and I want everyone to be in their own happy place, everyone all together, because, if esports as a whole is going to succeed, we have to work together. You can't have communities fighting each other. I'm just going to throw this example out there. In Control had a show match or a money match against Ryan Noob. He's a Halo pro. And, the two communities, like, jumping in back and forth, on each other's stream, like, they were some of the worst comments back and forth. Like, just because you like this game over that game doesn't mean you can't support all of esports. And if you don't, I don't want you to sit down and watch hours and hours and hours of a tournament. I just want you to know what's going on and support what's going on. Mike?
I can go.
Yeah, I could talk. We could have done a show just on this.
I mean, specifically, I'll go short and sweet. Basically, I've grown up within. I have over a decade's worth of experience within the competitive gaming. I went to my first LAN party in 1999, playing Quake and Unreal Tournament, and then from there have never. I've never left this community. I back in the day, when I would help run LAN parties at my high school, I had an email list because I was one of those cool kids back in 1999 that had their own email account. They're like, oh my god, you have an email account? That's crazy. And so like I would like legit like every time there was an event, I would just CC everybody and be like, hey, here's this event coming up, and I'm doing this and LAN party, blah blah blah. Me specifically, I just have being like so immersed in it. I really got an appreciation for everything. So everything, fighting games, RTS, shooting games, is my bread and butter. I love Quake 3, Unreal Tournament. Like that's really where I come from. But I was never biased towards any other games. So I follow everything. And you'll see like on the site, like you can look. Last week I did a recap on the Reflex GT Modern Warfare 3 PS3 event. The week before that, I did the recap for the World Game Cup, which is all fighting games. The week before that, I'm all over the place, and that's really, I come from that old school, like everybody has to work together, everybody has to succeed, and so that's where I met Josh back in 2009 when he first started promoting CincyFrag, the local site, doing events and stuff like that, and that's where I was like, hey, like. I'm your LAN party guy. I'm the PC guy. I know everything that's going on, and then from there it's just really progressed. And that's the thing that if you could see our notes that we have from our meetings, like we're really diligent about everything we want to do, and it may not be as a faster pace as other sites are doing, but that's our whole goal is we want everything. We report on fighting games, shooter games, RTS, everything. Doesn't matter how big the event is, doesn't matter, who wins or what team is sponsoring or, and I think that's kind of the thing is, I'm not going to name names, but there are other coverage sites out there that don't really do everything the way that we do, but then also they're not as open to community. I have no problem telling people earlier today, the CSN did, this event, go in and watch it, or Reflex GT has a tournament next weekend, and that's I really feel like that's where it's based. And if I get specifically, as far as I just talked for how many minutes specifically, I would give it all up for DJ Wheat, because DJ Wheat, I've been watching him forever, and basically he has the same advice for everybody. It doesn't matter what it is, just get out there and do it. Yep. And so that's really what we're doing with Boss Fight. I slaughter my sleep schedule. I can't tell you. I go to school full time and I work full time, but you know what? I stayed up all last night catching up all the VODs, watching all the tournaments, all the games from the ESCA LAN that I missed, all the games from final round. So, and that's when I was a part of GotFrag, I did Quake coverage, and that was it. That's all I did. But I was still in the community and I knew everything else that was going around. So yeah, as far as Boss Fight, that's we just want to bring everything together, and that's I hope our passion comes through, and you can see the hard work we're putting in and everything that we're doing to really bring communities together and bring a all-inclusive reporting esports website.
Yeah, well, awesome, dude. Sweet.
You asked for it, man.
I'm good at it. That's pretty cool. I talk way too much. So it's good to have other people talk. To
have someone else talk a little bit. Oh man.
There you go.
All right. We are approaching an hour and a half. So if someone has a question, the first question I see we're gonna ask if it's appropriate. I want to preface it with that. And then we'll give away a man pack before we leave. No questions.
So wrong.
Oh well, I'll bring up. I actually had
any question.
This one was from yesterday, actually, within the Counter-Strike source stream for the ESCA 10 LAN. This was supposed to be for Corey Dunn, but because he's not here, I'm going to ask you, Alex, who would win in a knife fight, Corey Dunn or Vin Diesel?
Oh man, Corey Dunn, hands down. He'll talk him to death, and then he'll just slice his throat. So there you go. Vin Diesel has nothing on Corey Dunn.
Oh man.
But then after Corey wins the knife fight, would he pick terrorist or counter-terrorist?
He'll probably pick counter-terrorist. He's a good guy, he's nice. Remember, Vin Diesel is stealing people's money. in Fast and the Furious, and to be honest with you, he wasn't really that good in Triple X. So if you look at it, I think Corey Dunn wins that one hands down.
Oh.
Oh, here's a good question.
Last question.
ESN Stunna, should Counter-Strike be on the pro circuit? Should MLG seriously look at picking it up?
1.6 source, no. Go, yes.
On PC or console?
I'm biased.
Yeah.
Well, technically, because of Steam Connect, they could play against each other.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
and they haven't announced yet, but I think you could do keyboard and mouse support on the PS3. Maybe, hopefully, if it's possible. That'd be pretty cool.
You know, and then you also have the whole talks about Valve possibly coming out with a console or something like that as well. It's kind of like rumors going around. We'll see, I guess. See. You haven't heard anything about that yet?
No, but if they did, the first freaking game they come out with better be episode 3.
Like, you've been working on the console all this time. Where's my episode 3?
That's what I'm saying, right? If you were gonna, like, you redid Counter-Strike, you made a new series, 2 new series, and you still couldn't do episode 3. What the hell's wrong with you, Valve? God damn it!
Oh man. So we're gonna give away one more man pack, and then we'll let you say your last thing, and we'll let you go. So we had our whole rant, I guess, about esports. So here we go. You need to follow at BossFightTV, at ManPacks, at Goldenboy, and I want you to mention all of them, and I want you to tell me and everyone what is your favorite thing about esports? Why do you like esports so much? I'm sure you probably can't fit all of it, but try to fit it in that 140 characters or less. So why do you like esports? You have to mention all of us, follow all of us, and I'll check it.
And if it says this, if it's the sex, it won't qualify.
Because
we know it ain't happening.
Oh, I have to tell this story.
Oh God!
It says plenty of females. Yeah, definitely.
When I was on Godfrag, it was me and one other guy, John Sycamores, aka 9X. Big shout out. He actually runs a podcast that covers still shooting games, but it's kind of sporadic. But I want to give him a shout out because I'm not sure if he's even watching. But Joe Sycamores, aka 9X, check him out. We were looking for someone else to help us do coverage for Quake 4 when we were on Godfrag, and we legit had this guy. Like it was like an email process. It was like, what's your name, your school, your experience, blah blah blah. And he's like, I want to be on Godfrag so I can get laid. And that was it. And this was a pro player. This was a pro player.
That's respect. I mean, if you think it's gonna happen, then it's gonna happen. You know, you can't hate on the guy, right? So,
oh my gosh! Cool. All right, so we got our winner, and I'm gonna butcher this name. We have Frank. Is it Bagala? I'm assuming it's iChrome. Frank Bagala, iChrome. I just followed you. Send me your email address at BossFightTV. Congratulations to them. As always, like I said, ManPacks, check them out, manpacks.com. They have all sorts of crazy, awesome, different packages you can customize completely 100%. Boxers, socks, razors, all sorts of craziness. Go check them out. Goldenboy, what are your final statements? What do you have to say to everyone watching tonight before we leave?
Well, guys, thank you very much for sticking around. It's awesome. You know, things like this are very difficult to develop, and it takes hard work and time. Someone in the comments was saying, you know, only such and such amount of viewers, that it's declining. It isn't. It's just a work in progress. You don't just hit the stream button and expect to get 500,000 viewers. You know, it just doesn't work, or even 500 viewers. It just doesn't work like that. Everything takes work, so I want to personally give a shout out to BossFightTV for having me. I think what they do is fantastic. I love the website. I go check it out every single day. Thank you to ManPacks as well for providing the prizes and the giveaways. It's awesome. Huge thank you to my group of friends that have always been by me: Ghost, Robski, Barbosa, Seltzer, Torch, Rivington, and Neha, aka Renoa from Riot Games. I love those people. They're They've been, and Shidosha, of course. Those have been like core reasons why I've been continuing doing what I do. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue to do this. Doesn't matter how big I get, because to be honest with you, I never did it for the popularity. I never did it for the paycheck. Fun fact, never got paid once for Weekly Warfare. I just did it because I like it, and that's it. And I didn't ask for anything because that's just the kind of person that I am. Hopefully you guys can see that and continue to support what people like us three do, because it's very, very difficult to get off the ground a new project and have the whole world pay attention. So continue to support Boss Fight and continue to follow Andy Pearl and Mohawk Mike, because I think that they're more worth of a follow than I would ever be. So that's pretty much it, guys.
I wouldn't say that, man.
I don't know about you, Andy Pearl, but Mohawk Mike, I mean, just messing with you.
What? Oh man,
and that check is in the mail.
Mike secretly paid him before the. No, just kidding. But yeah, thank you so much for coming out. Tonight was awesome. Great questions from the community. Thank you for everyone for participating and sending out those tweets and in the chat. Definitely, everyone keep an eye out. You said, was it the end of March for GOML coming out?
Yeah, the end of March for the new version of the Gamble is what I call it.
All right. Yep. End of March. And that day, when it launches, we're going to tweet it out. It'll be on our front page. So keep posting on that. Also, make sure you follow Goldenboy at Goldenboy for the win. And I also wanted to say, you mentioned Robski. Shout out to him. He's cool. I like Robski. We hang out at events.
He's a douchebag, but he's all right. You know.
He's all right guy.
He's all right. He's a douchebag sometimes. He's all right though.
And Brian in the chat. That guy's cool too. Prophet. So.
Prophet.
No, you don't like Prophet?
I love Prophet.
Oh, I was about to say.
Best in the world. Are you kidding me? I just gave him the Seamus of it. You know. Even if you don't know who Seamus is, I'm sorry. But
I'm wearing my CM Punk shirt, so if you want to bring it.
Are you really wearing a CM Punk shirt?
I'm dead serious wearing. Hold on, I'll move my mic out of the way because I have my Rock Band mic draped over my.
Oh,
I think I'll get spin around.
Oh
man!
I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it in support of for final round. Because if you guys don't know, in the fighting game community, oh god, now I'm blanking out. Oh Jesus, the fighting game community actually has a lot of wrestling love, but there's one player in particular that, yeah. Oh jeez, now we're gonna have to do a whole show just on wrestling.
Oh, we should every week, and I have no problem tuning in. I have no problem like watching wrestling live and then just tuning in and talking about it, and just because I'm going to tell you this right now: make the Intercontinental Championship mean something, make the Tag Team Championship mean something, get rid of the World Heavyweight Champion, and make sure CM Punk retains that belt at WrestleMania. Boom. That's it. That's my advice.
Do you think that Santino Marella should be headlining WrestleMania?
Yes. I know it sounds crazy, but yes, I think.
Yes.
I think at least if not a title bout, or maybe even a title bout, like maybe have him fight Jack Swagger for that U.S. title, and then just take the belt from Swagger and fire his ass because he sucks. So.
Excuse me.
I can't do it. Dolph Ziggler needs to separate himself from there. He needs to get a new stable. Like he can't. Oh God, I hate Vicky Guerrero. Like my wife. Like she doesn't really watch it, but she like looks at me whenever Vicky Guerrero's like talking. She's like, "What is that person doing there?" Every time. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Sorry, guys. I just love her.
Going off on that tangent.
I know. I'm crazy.
It's all good, man. It's all good. So again, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We definitely appreciate it. We support everything you do, and we appreciate all of the support that you give us. Definitely. Especially with that first article you wrote on, these sites you need to check out. If you haven't read that article, guys, go on GOML and you need to read that article because there's a lot of great websites on there. And then shout out, I want to say thank you to Blackout, Aaron. He's the guy who's doing the stream in the background. sitting in the background, and he didn't actually get to join in on the interview. So thank you for being the guy behind the curtain. And Mike, you have anything to say? You wanna go ahead and take us out?
I want to thank everybody that tuned into the chat. I want to thank Goldenboy for taking the time, because you know what, he was casting all day for the CSN event. So for him to first off not be hoarse and take the time to actually sit down, he could have been baking cookies. People, there were cookies being baked within his perimeter. So to take the time to sit down with us is amazing. And then everybody else who is, a community leader, not just for Call of Duty, but for everything else in the scene. We really have a lot of things that can be improved, but at the same time, there are a lot of things, really great things to look forward to in the 2012 season. Which, just the last question: Are you going to be at MLG, Alex? Columbus?
I want to. It's going to be tough because of the fact that I have a Providence. I have the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge the week before. If I can find a cheap way to get out there, I'll totally do it. I need to figure it out, but if I can, I can. If I can, I'll be watching it from home.
If you can get out there, we'll put you up. You can stay in our. We
have a giant hotel suite.
Ooh, you guys.
You know what's funny is we're planning a big family spaghetti dinner anyway. So food, sleep. Whatever you need, we'll accommodate you.
Santissimo.
As long as you bring some cookies. You bring the cookies.
Some homemade cookies. That's all we need.
Yeah, my wife literally just came around and gave me a cookie, and I'm nomming it on it right now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we will let you go and have some family time. Thanks for coming out. Mike, you want to do your whole thank you for considering exit?
I will do that.
All right,
so
here we
first
go.
Off, first, I want to go ahead and say lastly but not least, thanks again to Manpacks for sponsoring the show. For those of you who do actually get your Manpacks, please, tweet out about it. I actually have mine. I'm saving it for Columbus because you know what? I hate packing for field trips or road trips or whatever you want to call it. Manpacks basically sent me a package, and it has shirts and underwear and everything that I could need. I legit just need to throw that in my backpack. So I'm good for MLG Columbus. I don't really need to pack anything else. So big shout out to them. For everybody that does get a Manpack, please, give them feedback. What you like, share, retweet, what Manpacks is doing because it's awesome. And then last but not least, like I said, everybody for tuning in and taking a part and growing esports. So with that said, I want to tell everybody to thank you for considering, and this is our first weekly live show. Next week we haven't really gotten the guest yet locked in, but we will be doing this every Sunday. We're specifically looking for different community leaders throughout all ranges. So I'm going to try and get some fighting game guys on here next week, but I know Asiris specifically asked for Gears of War. So if you guys got any feedback as far as who you want to see or so in general, let us know.
Right, definitely.
And I'm going to go to Walmart and buy some cookies.
We're going to try to get Corey done, too, because since he was busy tonight, so he's definitely going to be on at some point. So, thank you for watching.
Take it easy, guys.